Hi everyone, my name is Taylor. Tonight we're going to kind of just wrap up talking about HIV testing. In my past few videos we've talked about what HIV is, how it's transferred, what we can do to protect ourselves from receiving HIV, and now we're going to kind of talk about the next steps that someone can take in the case that they may be HIV positive, or if they have a potential exposure to HIV. And the only way that we can know if we are HIV positive is to get tested. You need to really take it into your hands, get tested, know your sexual status, protect yourselves and your loved ones against HIV. So basically, if someone may be exposed to HIV, we do have to remember that there is no cure, but there is wonderful treatment. And the only way to receive this treatment is to test positive for HIV. So in the case that you think that you may be exposed to HIV, if you want to do something quick just to figure it out, there are great little take-home tests that you can purchase at Walgreens or CVS, basically any drugstore, pharmacy, etc. And the process is super simple. It's just like taking a pregnancy test. Instead of peeing on it though, peeing on the stick, you're going to take a little swab of your saliva and wait for the test results to come after that. It's quick, it's cheap, only takes like 25 minutes, and it's something that you can do in the privacy of your own home. So if someone does test positive with the take-home test, the best step to go from there is to go to your healthcare provider. Healthcare providers are going to be the only way that someone who tests positive for HIV can receive treatment. So we also have to remember that if you have a potential exposure, there's no way to tell if you're positive without taking a test. The thing about HIV is that it doesn't display any symptoms, so you can't simply just look at a person and say, oh, I think they're positive, I think they're negative, and someone can't assess themselves properly just by physical symptoms. There's nothing that shows whether or not someone has HIV. So the only way for someone to know if they are HIV positive or if they're negative is to get tested and know their status, making sure that we're taking it in our own hands to protect ourselves and protect our loved ones. So if someone does test positive for a take-home test for HIV, the next step is to go to a healthcare provider, and we're going to take another test. Going to a healthcare provider is fast. Most times it's free and it's extremely confidential. So the only person who's going to know if someone tests positive for the HIV will be the person themselves and their healthcare provider. So no one else has to know. It's up to the patient. Completely confidential, which is amazing. And so essentially, if the results do come back from the healthcare provider saying that someone is indeed HIV positive, we have to remember it is not a death sentence. There are millions of people living worldwide that are HIV positive and still have the chance to live happy, purposeful, and meaningful lives. And as I mentioned earlier, there's wonderful, wonderful treatment out there. And in some communities, access to this healthcare is even free. You just have to make sure that you know your status and you're protecting yourself and your loved ones if you are positive. And like I said, there's a number of programs in the Valley here in Phoenix that work fantastically well with HIV positive patients. So if someone thinks that they are HIV positive, the best way is to making sure that we're getting tested and knowing our status. And if someone does take a HIV positive test and they think they may be HIV positive, but the test shows that they're negative, but they may have engaged in some risky behavior, we're going to make sure that we take the test again in 3 months without new exposure. So if someone's having sex with the same person for 3 months, we are going to want to make sure that we're communicating our sexual status with the partner and making sure that we are regularly getting tested so that we can know our status and protect not only ourselves but the people we care about. So yeah, basically to wrap it up, get tested, know your status, protect yourselves, protect your loved ones, your sexual partners, and if you do test HIV positive, remember that it's not a death sentence and there's wonderful treatment available and there are people there to help you and to care for you and to guide us through this next step in our lives. So if anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Yeah, have a good night.